Good morning. It's I Wonder Wednesday. And today's question is not so much about just life, in terms of faith or in terms of disability, but more about my professional life, which is not something I've talked about in these videos so far. And I felt like it was worth touching on. And the question that I'm going to be addressing today is one that someone asked me actually quite a while ago, not too long after Tim and I started in real estate. And the question was, why are you doing real estate? I wonder why you would do this out of all the things that you could do. So let me start by saying that I'm in my 25th year of teaching at a local university. And I love that job. I love students, always have, probably always will. But I started when I was very young. I was only 23. And that means that when I'm only 53, I'll be eligible for full retirement with the teacher's retirement system of Georgia. And there would be no penalty for retiring, even though I'll be at 53. And will I retire at 53? I don't know. I mean, it's something that is kind of out there on the horizon as a possibility, and I don't know. But it just kind of hit me one day that I would be retiring at a very young age if I chose to retire at my 30-year mark. And, yes, I sit all day because of the wheelchair, but I've never been one to just sit and do nothing. I've always had things to do. So, I started thinking, what can I do? And something that I wanted to do years ago as an early 20-something, even really before teaching, I'd always thought it would be neat to get into real estate, but I didn't really know how. I had no clue, what the steps were. And I certainly was concerned about the fact that, I can't get into a lot of homes in the area, so I wasn't sure how I would show houses. And I kind of just put it to the side and ended up teaching, right? And so teaching, like I said, is something that I knew I could do and I enjoyed, and I still do. So fast forward to this realization that I've been teaching for a long time now, and that it's possible that I could retire in just a few years. So I started revisiting that old concept or that old idea of what about real estate? And my cousin had gotten into real estate and she was doing quite well and she enjoyed it a lot. And so one day I just had a conversation with her and I said, what is it like? And she began to tell me more about it. And, the more we talked about it, the more it sounded like something I might like to try. But I still had this question in the back of my mind, how would it work for me physically since I could not show houses and all that good jazz? So she encouraged me to look into the idea of partnerships and to just go ahead, move forward with the dream and just see what happens. And that's what I did. And as I talked to Tim about it, we began to realize that this was actually something that we could do together. And it was actually him who said, well, why don't I just get licensed with you and then we can work a business together? And that was awesome because it was something that even though I'm still several years out from retirement from the school, if I even do retire from teaching then, it was something that we could do together, but we could start now. And we could start slowly building the business on a part-time scale until I do retire, whenever that is, and we could jump into it, maybe full-time at that point, if that's what we wanted to do. It seemed like a smart idea, and so we decided to go for it, and we were licensed. That was a whole story in and of itself. The way that happened was pretty cool. God just did some amazing things to make that happen. But so those were two of the initial reasons. One, it could be a possible after retirement endeavor. And number two, it could be something that Tim and I could do together. A third reason for doing real estate, and of course this is the one everybody likes to talk about, and I might as well go ahead and address it because people like to know, Yes, there's good money in real estate. For a part-time job, Tim and I have done pretty well over the last few years. Now, we are not $1 million, real estate agents where we're making tons of money like some are, but we're also not at the level where we're ready to scale to that. We're working slowly at our own pace, and that's one of the beauties of this industry. One of the greatest things about it really is that you can build your business at a pace that is comfortable for you and your lifestyle and your circumstances. And what we found out, we were both a little nervous about going into the business was, what if it's just cutthroat? We both kind of had this idea of business as being, this rough and ugly type thing, and not really for us. We were much more like the creatives, the dreamers. We like to write, we like to read, we like to, do all the quiet stuff. And even though I'm mostly an extrovert, I do have some introvert tendencies where, I like to just kind of chill and be quiet at times. I know it's hard to believe for those of you who know me. But anyway, we were a little nervous about this concept of whether or not the business would be just something cutthroat that we hated. And we were a little nervous about investing the money up front to do the training and get the licensure, but we still decided to take a chance, just take that step of faith. And we joined with Keller Williams, Lanier Partners in Northeast Georgia. We liked Keller Williams because they have what we believe to be an awesome business motto. And that is God first, then family, then business. That resonated with us on a really deep level, and that's the reason we chose the brokerage that we did. And when we got into the business, we found out something that utterly amazed both of us. And that was that, yes, it is a competitive field in the sense that there is business out there and there are agents who are working the field, but we have thus far, this is our experience, we have not experienced the ugly cutthroat field that some people say business and some people even say real estate is. That's just not been our experience. We have met some of the most incredible humans on this planet in our pursuit of a real estate career. We have made so many great friends. Even just our team meetings, which we've actually not attended a couple of those lately because we've been a little busy with some other things. But when we're there, it's just like family. We have a great team that we can call on. I have called my productivity coach at all hours of the day, sometimes late in the evenings, and she's been phenomenal at helping to coach me through some difficult questions. We have an amazing staff, leadership. It's been so different than what I was afraid I might encounter in the business. And on the other side, with other agents that are not a part of our brokerage, what I found out is that real estate is one of the few businesses on the planet where you win when you work together. Even if you're on opposite sides of a deal, you win when you work together. And so we would represent a client on whatever side, buyer or seller side, and of course there's an agent on the other side who's representing the other side of the deal, and we have to learn to work together. We also have partnerships with lenders and inspectors and appraisers and all these different professionals, and all of those relationships we found out are not just business relationships. They become friendships. They become long-term partnerships. And as far as my concerns about not being able to show homes, because of not having access. I've been just amazed how that worked out as well. I found out early on that if you're resourceful and you want to work with people, you make deals and you learn how to make things work. So I have some incredible friends who, when we can't show houses, we work with them and we forge partnerships so that they show the homes, and we do the contracts and negotiation and all that stuff, and we just work together, and it's worked out so well. And part of that is the reason that we were able to even buy our own home. We were more educated. We knew how to negotiate. We were able to ask for things and get things done. And we found out that it really is a great network of friends. And I did not expect that. I also have seen so much of what I call kingdom partnerships. And what I mean by that is that all the realtors that I know, and again, this is my experience, I'm talking about my experience on, my channel here. But my experience is that all the realtors that I know have some sort of other long-term goal that they're working toward, and it usually involves what ultimately is the main reason that I got into real estate, and that is to help people. I remember selling my own home several years ago, and I had no clue how to go about it. This was long before I was in real estate. But I had no clue how to do it. It was a stressful process for me. And I remember just feeling overwhelmed by the emotion of it all. And that's something that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to real estate or property. They don't think about the emotion that goes into the sale or purchase of a home or even land. And when I started realizing this was a perfect opportunity to help people either sell homes or buy homes, it became a much bigger picture for me at that point. I realized that I could walk somebody through one of the toughest seasons or the most exciting, or both seasons of their life all at the same time. And in the process, it was beneficial to all parties involved. And whenever you find a career or a job where you can truly help someone change from one season of life to another, move from one stage of being to another, from one dream to another, or maybe even from a heartbreak to stability or whatever. When you start realizing that, the business totally shifts in your mindset. And that's what real estate means to me and to my husband. We love helping people. We love helping people know that they can achieve something that they never thought was achievable. And there's just something that is crazy rewarding about that. And it's nice that, we get paid for that. We get paid. People get to sell homes, buy homes, move on to new stages of their life. And it's a win-win for everybody involved. And I highly encourage you, if you've ever thought about trying something different and you really didn't know what you wanted to try, but you might want to try a different field, I recommend giving it a try. It might not be for you. It might be something that you don't enjoy. And if you don't, you certainly don't have to stay in the business. But if you do, it's incredible. And if you ever want to talk about that, have a chat about that, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer any specific questions that I can about my own experience and what it's been like for me. And I can put you in touch with people who can help you as well. So that's this week's I Wonder Wednesday. It's a little bit longer than some others because, I like to try to do it justice and answer honestly. But yeah, so I wonder why I got into real estate. Now you know more than one reason, but my ultimate reason is to help people move on to different stages of their lives. All right, thanks, y'all. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.